All right. Looks like we are live, everyone. All right, guys. Welcome. We're here.
Yes, sir.
We're real people. We're real human beings, people.
We have faces.
Yes, yes. You can put names
Yeah.
to faces now. So, be excited about that. But what is going on, everyone? Welcome to a live edition of the Breakdown Sportscast. I'm your good friend and host, Kory Willis. Hope you all out there are doing well on a Sunday evening. Hope you guys out there are, have had a great weekend, getting ready for another work week, of course. I mean, we're heading towards week 0 of the college football
Yeah.
season. So, overall, guys, I hope you all out there are doing well on today. So, yeah, as always, guys, we appreciate you all listening in to the show. You guys, we're on multiple different streaming platforms. I mean, we're on YouTube now. Hopefully, we're gonna be working on getting that Twitch stream up and running for you guys. I know sometimes you'll see me streaming on the Twitch channel, so definitely follow that. And we're on just multiple streaming platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Amazon Audible. We're on there as well. And just a bevy of streaming platforms for you all. So if you like what you hear from the show, you like what you hear from Chris and I, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It's definitely important for us. It helps us know what we're doing and how we can improve this show for the future for you all. So, as always, guys, we very much appreciate you guys' support with the show. As always, guys, you know who I'm with. I'm with my good friend and co-host. He is Chris Bolton. Chris, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Feeling good. Like you said, week 0 is on the horizon. I'm just ready to get this thing kicked off. It's time for some football. I've reached my boiling point, Kory. I done been on YouTube too much, looking at old games from seasons past. You know how it is during the off season. You just load up, you just check out old games just to get your fix. I'm tired of getting my fix from YouTube. I need some real football, some live games to be played, and it's almost there.
Yeah, man. I think you and I feel very much alike. It's during that time of the spring and the summer. You just sitting around. Basketball's going on, baseball. All of that's going on. But man, you really start to it really starts to kick in of you missing football like right around like April or May. You're just like, man, I want to watch the football again.
I mean, we've been getting preseason football from the NFL, but now I need the games that count. I need some real football. So, but we're almost there. We're almost there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, man, it's yeah, we're almost there. Heading into week 0. This is game week for some teams. Chris, can you imagine? We finally got there.
Yeah, it is game week, man. So I mean, like we said, we're here, and it's gonna get real for a few teams here very quickly. So it's crazy. You're gonna have your walkthroughs, guys be getting the pregame meals. You gotta catch the bus. It's that time.
Yeah, yeah, that indeed. It is that time. Of course, teams out there are already, getting their depth charts ready. They've been getting the depth charts ready for a couple weeks now. So, this is this is a time right now for some teams where, hey, it's no more questions, no more come back to us later. We may tell you, updates on who's gonna be starting where. No, this is game week for some teams out there, and yeah, we definitely can't wait to talk about that. Heading into this week.
Yeah, and there's other teams that are dealing with some extracurricular stuff
Oh,
off the field
goodness.
before they even hit the field.
Have they ever? Have they ever? I mean, as we go ahead and just segue to it, folks, unless you've been hiding under a rock, yes, there has been an update regarding the infractions of the Michigan Wolverines, of course. I have a article from Pete Thamel and Dan Wetzel. They do great work over there at ESPN, Chris. Where they mentioned the University of Michigan gets a major fine, around $30 million. It adds to Moore's ban for sign stealing, and probably like a few hours after this was announced, Chris, and I had texted you it. Michigan,
not so fast,
right? Not so fast. They decided to appeal this whole thing going on with these infractions, Chris. So interesting times. Yeah, look, it's the Michigan way, okay? Look, why fight it when you just get out of it? Just squeeze out of these situations, okay?
Yeah, Kory. I mean, look, we've seen how Michigan gets down in the past. Coach Harbaugh, when he was the head coach, he was very vocal. Michigan was very adamant about it's us against the world, and it seems like that same momentum has carried on to this regime, to this Michigan team this season, and so yeah, no, it only makes sense that they would try to deny it altogether and appeal.
Yeah, it's very on brand, as the youths say today, it's definitely something that Michigan was already eyeing. Whatever the NCAA was going to do to them, they were ready to fight this, tooth and nail. And
yeah, Coach Moore, Coach Moore is he held it down for Harbaugh, and so you treat him the same way that Harbaugh got treated, he's gonna respond the same way. Them two, they thick as thieves. They cut from the same cloth, so there's no surprise.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at them, these two are definitely different individuals, but boy, they bleed the maize and blue. You poke them, it's just maize and blue.
Maize and blue, yeah.
That's all you see.
It's maize and blue, exactly.
Oh man, but no, you're absolutely right, Chris. When everything had went down with the whole Connor Stallion situation, sign stealing and all of that, he was the first person to exit the building, exit stage left, as they say, and then followed by Jim Harbaugh and Sharon Moore still there, having to deal with some of this stuff. He too is has come out and talked about hey, he complied, he did everything that he needed to do. Why are we still going through this whole situation with bans and revenue, which is something the school is definitely gonna fight tooth and nail with the NCAA about, like, hey, you're not going to take our revenue. We've done all of what we needed to do from the last time. So, what gives at this point? So, we'll see what happens. But, hey, this whole situation, I got to say, Chris, it's we talk about Six Flags, roller coasters on Six Flags, and all of these different theme parks.
Ain't got nothing on this.
They ain't got nothing on this. This is something else. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, it has been a wild ride, but I think things will eventually it's going to be bumpy before it smooths itself out. So I think we're getting to the point where eventually things will smoothen out. But this is the last few little twisted turns that we going through, I think, here.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Chris. This has to be it. this has to be it. Like, no one wants to hear more about this, okay? No one wants to hear any more about this, especially Michigan fans at this point. They just want to move on with Bryce Underwood being a quarterback, most likely.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, it was that was probably like the biggest news that had came out. When was that? Was that like Wednesday?
Friday.
Friday.
Was it Friday? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was Friday. Yeah, it was biggest news that had came out during that day. Was this of course?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like we had talked about. Not surprising that they would appeal this whole situation, and we'll see what happens. Moving forward, but it's the saga continues, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Anything else you want to add to this topic, Chris, before we move on to our other topics?
I think we good.
All right. Well, from bans and all kinds of fines and stuff in college football, we're now going to go to quarterback battles, Chris. Something that's definitely interesting as we're heading towards week 1 of the college football season. Got a couple of quarterbacks out there that are jockeying for positions, Chris. They're trying to become the top dog in their respective programs. And we heard a couple of quarterbacks that have been in these battles last couple weeks. Quarterbacks such as C.J. Carr from Notre Dame. He was a top 50 recruit in the 2024 class, Chris. I know you've talked about him a couple times on this show. He's, I think this past week it was announced that he's now the starting quarterback for Notre Dame, if I have that correct.
Yes.
And he beat out Kenny Minchie, if I pronounce his name correctly, for the starting position over at Notre Dame. So, what are your thoughts about C.J. Carr potentially becoming the number 1 quarterback for Notre Dame this season?
Not surprised one bit. Just quick. I'll get quick little thoughts. CJ, somebody that we talked about in the show last season. Even when he was the backup after Notre Dame had brought in transfer QB to start for them last year. But he's very talented. Has a great arm, and I think he elevates Notre Dame's ceiling. And I think. Even though this will be his first season as a starter, we'll see how things play out. But if everything goes well, he has the kind of arm talent that can help Notre Dame win a national championship. They were so close last year. I think with him at the QB spot, he elevates their ceiling and gives them a chance to win that championship. So for Coach Freeman. So we'll see how things play out. But yeah, I'm a believer in C.J. Carr.
Yeah, I think C.J. Carr definitely brings something to the table that Coach Freeman definitely wants. He wants an athletic quarterback. He wants someone to go out there and make plays and fight to get those plays down the field. So I think making this decision on Carr is a step in the right direction. Let's hope he has a really good season this season for Notre Dame. And I mean, we've talked about Notre Dame on this show. I think this offense has the opportunity to break the ceiling that they had last year. I mean, I think this is going to be a well improved offense. We haven't even talked about the receivers that he has. I mean, he has Greathouse at receiver. He's back. And
got Jeremiah.
Yeah,
running back.
Exactly.
Notre
Dame's gonna be fun.
And the O-line is going to be fine. It's Notre Dame, so they'll be a tough out this season.
Exactly. I agree, man. I definitely agree. So that's what's going on in Notre Dame right now, Chris. Moving along, not too far away from the Fighting Irish, the Ohio State Buckeyes, they have their starting quarterback, Julian Sayin, is now the starting quarterback for Ohio State. So it's not too much of a surprise, but it was the talk that Lincoln Kienholz was definitely giving Julian saying a run for his money. So now the rumors and the talk can be put to bed now. It looks like Julian saying he is the number one guy, and now we're gonna see what he's made of this season as they get ready for Texas. It's crazy.
Yeah, Ohio State, Texas, man. I feel like it's '05 and not 2025. It's a blast to the past with that matchup. But yeah. Shout out to Sayin. He was a highly touted number one top QB prospect in his recruiting class. So you would expect and anticipate him winning out, the job. But the fact that this is announced now, especially after the rumors were rumbling about Kienholz and how he was playing, but saying he has the arm talent. We'll see if he can put it together. He's a little undersized, but if there's somewhere to be undersized, that it would kind of be Ohio State, because you have all the talent in the world around you and all the 5 stars in the world protecting you with you playing QB. Those 5 stars on the offensive line. So Ohio State ain't a bad place to be an undersized QB at.
No, not at all. I think they find ways to maximize their talent, Chris. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. I think Julian saying being at Ohio State, having Jeremiah Smith, I think the O-line is going to be pretty good this year as well. I think that's going to help him. So, and look, there's going to be a lot of athletic defenses that he's going to have to go up against, of course. Who knows? I mean, we've seen, shorter quarterbacks still use that height, for them to be successful. So, I mean, we've seen guys like, Kyler Murray, and I'm not calling him a guy like Kyler Murray, but, he was a shorter guy at Oklahoma, and at A&M when he was there, and that speed that he had was bar none. His strong suit. So I think with him taking this starting position with Ohio State, I think he can utilize all the tools, utilize his strengths in order to be successful there.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, man. Yeah, I thought that was interesting that he finally made it out of the QB battle. So yeah, moving along, we had talked about Michigan earlier, of course. Little football news. Delve into it. Bryce Underwood does look like he's going to be the clear favorite. Not surprising. They spent like suitcases of cash to get that man on campus. So, at some point you want to see your return on your investment. Am I right, Chris?
Yeah, and you want to see that return right now. The check is already clear, so it's time to see the ROI.
Exactly. I want to see box office numbers. I want to see these stands filled to the brim over here at the big house. All right.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
Wins.
Yes.
Yeah.
They told him that on day one. they told him that when he committed. That phone call was like an hour long.
I ain't gonna hold you, Kory. They didn't even have to tell him that. Hey, Bryce knows. He knew what he signed up for when he signed on the dotted line to his letter of intent to play at Michigan.
Oh, I believe it. I definitely believe it. So yeah, man. It's gonna be interesting to see what Bryce Underwood does this year. Hey, we'll get a Bryce Underwood, Julian Sayin showdown. If both these guys and just these teams stay as healthy as they can, I'm all for it.
That will. Oh yeah, yeah. That game is already fun enough, but get some new blood in there, and two guys who extremely, highly touted in their own rights, in their own recruiting classes, and they happen to be at Michigan and Ohio State. Man, that sounds like a movie in the making.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll definitely see what happens this season with Bryce Underwood in the backfield for the Michigan Wolverines. Moving on, Chris, two other quarterbacks that have had their respective quarterback battles. Caden Salter looks like he's going to be the front runner over at Colorado. And yeah, he's been in this battle with Julian Lewis, which was 2025 top quarterback that Deion brought in. So we've already known what Caden Salter is capable of. I mean, he was playing lights out over at Liberty, and now he's about to take that next step with bigger competition in the Big 12, Chris. So what are your thoughts about Caden Salter, taking this opportunity over in Boulder?
Yeah, I mean, it makes all the sense in the world. You don't want to necessarily rush a young guy along. So you brought in Caden for a reason. Experienced, proven athlete, proven quarterback. Can keep doing what you've been doing on offense for Colorado. You don't have to reel nothing back. He's good to go. You can call any play you want to with him, run any scheme you want to with the veteran. With Julian, I think you would have to try to find his strengths, and not that that's a bad thing, but when you got a veteran QB, it makes it that much easier for the offense to play to its full potential. So I think it makes all the sense in the world that he's going to be the guy.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. He's worked hard. I know Deion saw that from him the day he stepped in that locker room in Boulder. I mean, that's the reason why he got him. He wanted that experienced guy there to go toe to toe with the young guy that's still trying to figure everything out. And he's going to be a great quarterback in his own right in the future. So this is going to be interesting this season, Chris. There's no Shadur Sanders there. Of course, there's no Travis Hunter there as well. This is a brand new team filled with Deion Sanders guys.
Mm-hmm. And Coach Prime ain't no fool either.
No.
He knows everybody. Well, not everybody, but there's a lot of people that want to see Colorado lose. So
yeah.
he has to go out there and put the guy that's going to give him the best chance to have the most success. Mm-hmm. And so I think Caden is that guy.
Yeah, I think he's that guy. I mean, he wouldn't have picked him, if he wasn't. I think he brings something to the table that Coach Prime definitely is looking for this season, and hopefully, it will pay dividends. I think it will. I think the Big 12 is just it's always wide open. It's one of the greatest conferences in college football today.
Yes. It's God's gift to us, college football fans, the Big 12 conference.
Exactly. So, yeah, man, I think it's going to be interesting to see what Salter does in Boulder. But I can't wait, man. Can't wait. So yeah, so lastly, Chris, our last quarterback before we get into the Bolton's Bets top 25, Mr. Joey Aguilar. We know we knew about Joey Aguilar, Chris. He was at UCLA. Then he left UCLA. Tennessee decided to make the swap out of quarterbacks.
Swap-a-roo.
Yeah, the swap-a-roo. Now Nico Iamaleava is at UCLA, and now we have Mr. Aguilar over at Tennessee, about to showcase what he can do over there at Rocky Top. So I'm interested to see what Joey Aguilar can do for the Tennessee Volunteers, Chris. This is going to be an interesting season for Tennessee in general, and a lot of people have been writing off Tennessee I don't think I'm there yet because this guy could break out. He could literally have Diego Pavia type season. Just
Mm-hmm.
just in Tennessee Vol uniform. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's me, folks. Maybe I'm hallucinating a bit, but I won't count out Tennessee just yet.
No, I'm right there with you. I like what Joey brings to the table. Alive. He has a live arm. Is he the prospect that Nico was coming out? No, but that doesn't mean he can't succeed in this offense and be great and do great things. And so I think Joey gives Tennessee a great chance to have another successful season, another great year, and we'll get into that here a little bit more, Kory.
Yes. Yes, we will. So, oh man, yeah, yeah. I think taking a chance on a guy like Aguilar, it's going to be interesting to see what can be done this season at Tennessee. And yeah, I think a lot of people, a lot of national media pundits out there, just kind of need to back off of the Vols a little bit. I think they know what they have in their locker room right now. So yeah, we're gonna see what's gonna happen with Joey Aguilar. I'm excited to see what he does this season, and I know a lot of Tennessee fans are as well.
Yeah, same.
So yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much some of the main quarterback battles that have been going on in college football, Chris. So it's a great time that we can talk about this, that we can have these discussions, talking about fall camp. All
Mm-hmm.
of this,
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely, you can definitely feel college football in the air right now.
Oh yeah, it's here. It's
Yeah.
here. Uh, I'm reading it in right now.
Yes. There you go. You smell all the booze and popcorn and all of
Oh yeah, oh yeah, all that. The grill's fired up.
that. Yep.
Tailgate. Oh yeah.
All the whole nine. Everything is there for you. So yeah, man. Yeah, those are two topics down, Chris. Now we can get into the meat and potatoes of today's show for you good folks out there. So yeah, we're gonna now segue into the Bolton's Bets preseason top 25, Chris. You got a nice
Yes, sir.
logo there, sir.
Hey, we try to do what we can here on the breakdown sportscast. So
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, man. Yeah, the Bolton's Bets preseason top 25. Before we delve into it, Chris, talk about the journey of you getting this list together, because man, you were you couldn't wait to delve into talking about this with me.
Yeah, brother, it wasn't easy. There, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's like 45 teams that I think nationally that if you have, you know, one of those 45 in your top 25, I'm not mad at you. That's how narrow, how thin the margins are and the differences between these teams, I think, this season. There's no clear cut runaway preseason favorite. And anybody, depending on how the roll of the dice play out this year, can win their conference. And I think it's just that even across the board. So I'm ready to get into it, but it wasn't easy. I think, there's about, like I said, 40, 45 teams that could be in the top 25 this year. And we might see a rotation of those teams in the top 25 as the season plays out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, I looked at the list. We're gonna go over it, folks. Yeah, there was a lot of teams in here that I wasn't looking forward to seeing that high up, or even in there at all. There were some teams in there. I'm like, oh wow, I don't see them. I don't see them at all. But I wonder why. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see what's going on in Chris's head. So
yeah. So here we are. So you want to go ahead and get into it?
Yes, sir. Let me go ahead for the good folks at home watching on the YouTube. Let's go ahead to the first slide. So we're going to start off at 25, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to work our way up to number 1. So here it is right here. I'm going to start off 25 up to 21. 25, Chris. Kansas State.
Yep. 25, Kansas State. With Avery Johnson's back. So him, Coach Kleiman. They're a staple in the conference in the Big 12. They did lose some pieces, had a little bit of a down year. I think it's really tight. The margins are very tight in the Big 12, but I think, when you have someone as talented as Avery Johnson running the offense and coming back, I expect him to take another step up, and I think, got to have them in the 25.
Nice. So, have Kansas State at 25. We'll go to the 24. We have Texas Tech, the Red Raiders.
Yep. Texas Tech at 24, the Red Raiders. Look, man, we had a portal class that they had this offseason. Top 3 portal class in the nation. Number 2 in a lot of people's books, right behind LSU. Just brought in a plethora of blue chip guys, especially on defense. That defense is going to be stout. It's going to be tough. People just don't understand that Texas Tech is for real. I know we haven't said that in a minute. We ain't seen Crabtree walk through them doors in a minute. But trust me, Texas Tech ain't going to be no joke this season. So I like what they've done this offseason. A total rebuild immediately. You also keep Micah Hudson, your 5-star wide receiver recruit. He came back. So you bring back your starting quarterback. The things are lining up for Texas Tech to possibly have a big year.
Yeah, look, they found out, we can spend tons of money. We can do that. And then they proceeded to go into their safe filled with just money and just handed it out to players and said, hey, go Red Raiders.
Hey, come on. Yeah, you want to come here and play? We got you some money too. So, yeah, they definitely throwing the bag around.
Throwing it around. Throwing around like they throw around those tortillas at the game.
Tortillas.
Oh man, that's a great tradition right there. I don't know what it's like to be a Red Raider, but if we got some Red Raiders fans watching the show, definitely be excited this season.
Yeah. So we got Tech there.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana at 23.
Yeah.
South Carolina at 22, and USC at 21 to wrap up the bottom half of the bottom fifth of the top 25.
Okay.
So
I thought Auburn was 21.
Yes. I'm sorry. I looking at the wrong one. Let's see here. I was looking at the wrong graph.
No, it's all right. Hugh Freeze almost got mad at you. That's all.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Hugh. But Auburn has, when you look at their roster, they've been recruiting very well. They also have hit the portal well. You bring in Singleton to go along with Cam Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
You got quote unquote your guy at QB with Jackson Arnold.
Yep.
So they should have a big year. But so yeah, we'll see how things play out with that. And I know you probably got some questions about South Carolina being right there at 22 behind Auburn.
I do a little bit just because South Carolina's season last year, I mean, how can you knock them for what they did? Yeah, they lost to Illinois. We'll get to Illinois a little bit later. But I'm really high on this
Hmm.
South Carolina team. Yeah, I know that there's some people I've listened to some people, Chris. They're not as high on South Carolina. Don't know why. Don't care. I think what Shane Beamer did last season is definitely going to pay dividends for this season. I think he has created a culture over there in Columbia that is definitely contagious. I think this team has what it takes to break that ceiling in the SEC and compete for a potential
Yeah.
berth in the SEC championship. I think their defense is stout. I think having Lenore Sellers there another year to excel at the quarterback position is going to pay dividends. And yeah, I think this team has what it takes to be one of the best teams in the SEC.
Yeah, they are talented. They lost a lot on that D line. That's so that plays a part. So I'm curious to see how they replace some of those guys. Of course, I mean you do bring back Stewart, so I
Hmm.
mean that helps a lot.
That's a start.
You would have probably it's a great start. So that might make the other guy's job easier when you got a scheme for him. But I know Lenoris is back, but this is my question: who is he throwing the ball to? I know Nick Harbor was a highly touted recruit,
Hmm.
track star, athlete. Can he give me more than the go ball? I need to see more from this wide receiver room. And I know people in Columbia are going to be like, hey, but it's just fine. But I just need to see more before I boost them up more. So when you have the talent, like you got Stewart, you got Sellers, you will be in the top 25.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to hold. I got some questions. That's all. I just got some questions.
Yeah, I think it's great to have questions with this South Carolina squad. They're not perfect, but they definitely have something that a lot of other teams want, and that's impact players. And all they have to do is take those impact players and make sure that they're as successful as they possibly can be. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with South Carolina this season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then keeping things rolling. At 20,
All right.
we got Miami. 19, Ole Miss. 18, Arizona State. 17, Michigan. 16, Texas A&M. So it's a crop of teams with a lot of talent, but there are question marks around those teams. Miami, you do have Carson Beck, but you kind of pissed away an elite one-on-one offense last season. It's going to be hard to kind of repeat that same offense this year. So I do think Miami has talent, but can they repeat what they did last year? And let's just be real, Kory. People around football circles do question the in-game and on-the-field coaching of this Miami staff. So there are some questions about that. So I do want to see if we can get those questions answered.
Yeah, no, you're right, Chris. I was talking particularly to my brother about just Miami this season, and I'll say it right now. I think that this season is going to be one of the most important seasons that Mario Cristobal is ever going to have during his time there at Miami. You get close in the way that you did last season with Cam Ward, and Cam Ward, was a great quarterback everywhere that he went. He got to Miami after serving his time at Wazoo, Washington State, and he became a household name at Miami. Almost won a Heisman had it not been for Travis Hunter. And then you literally just rolled down the hill, stumbling, fumbling. You lose that game against Georgia Tech. You lose that bowl game Cam Ward, plays the half and like, see you later. It definitely left a bitter taste in a lot of Miami fans' taste buds. It's you want to see improvement this year, and I think Mario Cristobal, he's definitely going to have to show that with Carson Beck this season. They're going to have to have all hands on deck with being as competitive in the ACC as they possibly can, because hey, you slip up and you don't make 12-team college football playoff, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Then you have Ole Miss, Austin Simmons. I'm a believer. I know Ole Miss has been a transfer portal team, but plug and play situation. That Lane Kiffin has shown that he has the infrastructure in place for Ole Miss to compete. I'm a believer in Austin Simmons, so I have them in the mix. Arizona State, Sam Levitt, we know what he comes to do. You lose Cam Scatterbo, but you bring back your top receiver, you bring back your top QB, you got your head coach back. I think the infrastructure is in place for Arizona State to succeed. Michigan, you won games somehow with trash, anemic quarterback play last year, beating Ohio State and Alabama. That's a flex. You bring in Bryce Underwood. I still have questions about the offense. How good will this team be? But I think that the pieces are in place for Michigan to compete and mess around and maybe even win the Big Ten if everything goes right. And then Texas A&M, Marcel Reed, Le'Veon Moss, Reuben Owens. You bring in Concepcion at wide receiver to go along with the team with Coach Elko, and you know what the defense is going to do. A&M's a sneaky team. We say this every year, but hey, they really are. They got some players, so that's why I got them right there at 16. So we'll see how it all unfolds.
Yes, we will. Yeah, A&M, it's definitely becoming one of those teams now that, look, they're definitely like, I dare you to count us out. I dare you. I double dare you, college football guys, to count us out. We will break that wall down every single time now. And look,
they can go 7-5, or they could be 10-2, Kory.
Yeah, they definitely can. And look, I'm done with counting out A&M. I think they now have a guy there in Elko that's going to challenge this team to be better than what a lot of people expect, and definitely show up at times where people least expect it. So I'm definitely excited to see what Mike Elko has cooking over there in College Station this season.
Yes, sir. And then let's keeping things going to the next crop, the next group. 15, Tennessee. And I know this group. This is where it's going to raise a few people's eyebrows. We're going to surprise a few folks with this crop. 15, Tennessee. 14, the Baylor Bears. 13, Georgia Tech. Number 12, Illinois. And number 11, the Georgia Bulldogs.
Interesting.
It is extremely interesting. So the thought process behind it, watching Tennessee last year, I'm gonna be honest, Nico missed a lot of plays in SEC play, and that team still found ways to win games. I think Joey just has to be average and just make the right plays. And I think Tennessee, even though they lost a good bit of guys, they continue to be a team that recruits well in the top 20 the last 4 years. They have the talent in place to replace guys. And with the system that they run, I'm not counting Tennessee out. I think Tennessee also has a schedule that lines up for them to also be successful this year. So I'm not counting Tennessee out. Baylor at 14. Yes, I know it's going to surprise a lot of people. But I'm gonna tell y'all like this. Sawyer Robertson, along with Bryson Washington, is the best quarterback running back duo in the Big 12. Sawyer Robertson is one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. Bryson Washington had a breakout season as a freshman running back. Just this crazy numbers. He's a dog, and Baylor brings back the core of their offensive line. It's a sneaky team. It almost it's kind of one of those teams that gives you a feel for like how Mississippi State was looked at in the Mullen era with when Mississippi State broke out, and they bring back a lot of good pieces. People didn't. You weren't just if you weren't in the know, then you like, they were solid last year, but will they be that good? I think they will be that good. I think they're going to win the conference. So I'm a big fan of Baylor and what they bring back. So look out for the Bears.
Yeah. I think what Sawyer Robinson brings to the table for Baylor is definitely works for them. And look, we talked about Sawyer on this show, Chris. We remember his time during being at Mississippi State, and what we had hoped he would bring to the table there for the Bulldogs. He was an exceptional player in high school in the state of Texas, and now it's really paying off now that he's over there in Waco. So I think this team is definitely going to be fun to watch. I think Baylor is going to have I'm going to say Baylor's going to have their BYU moment that BYU had last season. I think this team has the opportunity to be very talented, and as long as they can win the games that they need to win, I think that they'll definitely be in the discussion of the 12-team playoff by the time we head towards November, December.
Yep, and then you look at Georgia Tech. Surprise everybody! Georgia Tech got them in the top 15. Look, I'm a key believer. I'm sipping the Kool-Aid that he is making, and I think they bring back Haynes King. The infrastructure is there for this team to continue building on what they did last season. And do not be surprised, people, if Georgia Tech messes around and kicks down the door, and if they find themselves in the college football playoff this year. They are a playoff dark horse, and they could very easily mess around and win the ACC. So I know everybody wants to just pencil in Clemson. You might have Miami in there. You might have Louisville. You might have SMU. I think Tech is a team to look out for. Same thing with Illinois. Everybody talks about your Ohio States and your Michigans and Penn State and everything. Illinois brings back their starting QB. And so I think that this season, Kory, we talked about leading up to it, it's so key to bring back your starting quarterback and everything. And I think those teams bring back starters and have everything in place for them to succeed despite not having the flashy name to their programs.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's interesting in talking about a team like Georgia Tech. That, of course, like you said, Chris, they're not a flashy team. They're not a household team that everyone's like, rah rah. Georgia Tech every year. I just saw a quote from head coach Brent Key down there in Atlanta, where he said Georgia Tech isn't nowhere close to playing a football game yet. I don't know if that's messing around with the media down there or what right now, but it's interesting that he did say that. Knowing what we've seen from Georgia Tech and what we know that they can be capable of, I won't. All I'll say is this: I won't go out and say Georgia Tech isn't going to have the same level of success that they had last season. I'm going to be watching Georgia Tech a lot this season, just because they can slip up and make you pay, just like I think Illinois can. I think Illinois is. I think that this year Illinois is this year's version of Indiana. Indiana came out of nowhere
Hmm.
and really shock some people. So I think with Illinois, I think they have something special there this season.
Yep. Yes, sir. And then, Georgia at 11. I mean, I know a lot of people probably shocked, but uh, new QB. I know the talent's there. Kirby Smart's there. I just have a lot of questions. I have questions about the Bulldogs, and I'm a Bulldogs fan. I'm a Georgia fan, Kory, but I just have questions about this team. So, out of respect to the talent that's there, they are still a top 12 team in my estimation right now. But I'm curious to see how the season plays out and see if those questions do get answered for the Dogs. Um,
Absolutely.
going to the top 10, Oklahoma at 10, the Oregon Ducks at 9, Florida Gators at 8, Notre Dame at 7, and the Alabama Crimson Tide at 6. So,
Interesting.
yeah, a lot of Florida, Oklahoma might surprise people. I know their schedules they have
Brutal.
just brutal schedules, but the teams themselves are great teams, I think. And
Hmm.
if anybody can survive the schedules, I think they can. Now, will they? We will see. They have a chance. Can DJ Lagway stay healthy? We'll see. If he does, Florida has a chance to win national championship. Truthfully, honestly, but we'll
Yeah.
we'll see how everything plays out going forward in the season.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the biggest topic going on down there in Gainesville, Chris. I know you've heard it all
Hmm.
around your neck of the woods. Can DJ Lagway stay healthy? Exceptional quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks, one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the country today in DJ Lagway. Can he stay healthy?
Hmm.
My hope is that he can. I think if he can, I think Florida can have a great season. They just got to put everything together in order to be as successful as they possibly can. So, we'll definitely see what the Florida Gators have cooking up. Looking at the chat right now, Mr. Chance Rawls says "Roll Tide" in the chat.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Chance, he loves Alabama. That's his boys. So Bama, Bama got a talented roster too. So we'll see what Alabama can do. The biggest question mark for them is QB play. So, but
Right.
when you look at that roster though, you can't deny that roster.
No.
Um, then and then wrapping up the top five at Ohio State, 4 Clemson, 3 Penn State, 2 Texas, and 1 LSU. Um, just being honest with you, Kory, I mean that whole top 10, you can have that mix any kind of way you want to, and I would understand it.
Look, as I was getting all of the material for the show today, Chris, I looked at the top five and I was like, man, this anybody can take this number one spot. Okay, anyone can do it. So I
Hmm.
think I think that this is going to be a very interesting top five that we're looking at right now. These teams, they got a lot to prove. Look, we've heard Dabo Sweeney talk about this season and what he's done to get them here. I'm loving what I see from Cade Klubnik. I think he's going to do it exceptionally well this season. Got to play the games though. Ohio State, we talked about earlier on the show that Julian Sayin is now the number one quarterback. He's now QB1 over there in Columbus. And look, we can go all day. We can have a whole episode talking about Arch Manning at Texas. I mean, this
Right.
is going to be a very, very interesting season for Steve Sarkisian, as he said himself. This is his guys. This is his team that he's inherited, or that he's cultivated, I should say. They want to see this through in Austin. They
Yeah.
want to make it to that national championship this year. We'll see what happens. They got a bevy of heavyweights on their schedule as well. So we'll see what happens with Texas and like I mentioned, Penn State number 3. We'll see what James Franklin can do this year. Having Drew Allard back is great. We'll see what happens with Penn State this season. And number 1, the LSU Tigers down there in Baton Rouge, looking to really showcase all of those weapons that they have on the offensive side of the football, Chris. So, hey, Brian Kelly, he definitely wants to show and improve this season.
He got the horses over there.
Yeah.
They got
So
the
we'll
horses
see.
over there. So we'll see, man, for sure. So I'm ready for the season. It's going to be a fun one.
Yes, sir. I think this is going to be a fun season indeed. I can't wait to see what happens with all of these teams. Some honorable mentions, Chris, before we wrap up today's show. What are some of your honorable mentions? Some people that you had left out.
Yeah, USC, SMU, BYU, your Utahs, teams like that were right there and in the mix.
Nice. Well, brother, appreciate you being here on the show with me as always. I know you got to get out of here. Before we head out, Chris, we got some outros. Just let the good people know where they can find us on social media.
Yes, sir. You can holler at your boy at Chris_Bolton_12 on X, and follow me on Instagram at Chris.Bolton_.
Awesome. And yeah, folks, you can find me on X at Listen to KSW, all one handle. On there, getting ready for college football, and any other topics that I'm on there talking about, professional wrestling, the whole 9. Definitely follow me on there. But folks, we appreciate you guys watching the show. As always, you can definitely follow us on multiple streaming platforms. We're here now on YouTube. And definitely listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all of those different podcast apps during your free time. Guys, we will be back hopefully sometime in the middle of the week, probably Wednesday or Thursday. We'll definitely let you guys know for another episode of the Breakdown Sportscast. Until next time, guys, I'm Kory Willis. He's Chris Bolton. You are listening to the Breakdown Sportscast. We will chat with y'all later. Peace.